John S. Trower was the richest Negro in America. He was worth over $250 million today, a business beast during a time when Black Americans did not have it easy at all. Before I go into how John became so successful, of course I have to tell you about his people, where his roots lie. John S. Trower emerged from a proud lineage of free people in Indiantown, now known as Indiantown Park in Eastville, Northampton County, Virginia. His parents were Luke and Anna Trower. They were a tight-knit community, untouched by slavery. Yes, they came from free people, free American Indians. As Booker T. Washington noted, they were among those Eastern Shore farmers who were known as the farmers of Indiantown. These people of Anglo-Saxon, Indian, and Negro blood were known for their industry, thrift, and frugality. No slaves were ever among them. They boasted of their manhood and independence. Nat Turner's insurrection brought to the people of this town many cruelties by the whites. Their independent spirit forced many of them to leave their homes and settle in the different sections of the North. A considerable number of these Indiantown farmers found refuge in Philadelphia. The names of the Stevens, Bivens, Press, and Trower are among Philadelphia's most successful colored citizens. It was from this stock and out of such early traditions that John S. Trower came. Indiantown Park has a deep history with the formation of this country and shows the early mistreatment of our American Indian ancestors. When I came across Lisa Cypress's case to sue for her family's land that was stolen, I couldn't help but feel immense pain for my ancestors and what John Trower endured. Lisa Cypress, who descends from Accomack Indians, is suing PNC Bank and the Northampton County Board of Supervisors to reclaim two historic family properties, one of which is now Indiantown Park. Her goal is not division, but healing, to restore indigenous land and create a powerful legacy and community-driven development for all Eastern Shore residents. Cypress descends from a line of land-owning Accomack Indians, including her fifth great-grandparents, Edmund Press and Rachel West, who were deeded reservation land in 1814. The lawsuit seeks to return two parcels, one currently housed in PNC Bank branch and another 50-acre tract known as Indiantown Park, both once owned by her relatives Molly West and Ebby Press. Far from evicting current occupants, Cypress envisions keeping the bank as part of the area's economic ecosystem. Her larger vision is to transform Indiantown Park into a vibrant center of cultural, economic, and spiritual revitalization. Plans include a museum, herbal gardens, a tea shop, sweat lodges, a petting zoo, and even an indigenous-style lodging. A credit union, a business incubator, and a food storehouse are also a part of the plan to ensure economic opportunity and self-sufficiency. More than a land dispute, the case challenges centuries of erased indigenous history and faulty records. Cypress emphasizes that many genealogical documents were miswritten or manipulated, but natural landmarks like Indiantown Creek still tell the truth. She believes reclaiming this land will bring overdue visibility, healing, and prosperity for indigenous descendants who have long been overlooked in Eastville. Lisa filed against PNC Bank in 2021. Fast forward to 2024, and this is what the courts thought of Lisa. Judge rules Cypress competent to face trial on 51 fraud counts. After a few simple conversations with Lisa Cypress, who represents herself as being the Ganaskin tribe member, a judge, Linwood W. Lewis of Northampton Circuit Court, found the woman competent to stand trial for the 51 fraud counts that allegedly involve her insistence that she has rights to local lands. They believed her to be insane. How disrespectful. You can't make this up. Richard Phillips, a lawyer appointed to represent Cypress, was also perplexed about her sanity. He said her tribe was not registered with the Department of the Interior. I can't get past that the agency wants to know the answers to basic questions to register this body to have rights that might apply. I can't seem to get that out of her. I can't seem to conclude where she is coming from. There are different laws for indigenous people, but you have to be registered with the Department of the Interior. I think we need to understand, is this a delusion problem? Her sister, Sharon Cypress, was permitted to speak from her seat in the gallery. My great-grandfather was an Indian one year and a black man the next, she said, referring to the records. Her worldview has nothing to do with the charges against her, the sister said. She is competent. Cypress was unsuccessful in claiming ownership in Indiantown Park and PNC Bank parcel near Eastville in U.S. District Court last year in a lawsuit with Northampton County. She was indicted in May on counts of malicious filing liens and encumbrances in Northampton Circuit Court for 2 properties at Indiantown Park, the PNC Bank property in Eastville, the $4.4 million Air Hall Farm. She was also indicted on the counts of conspiring to file fraudulent claims and soliciting another to file them. A trial date has not yet been set. Lisa's ancestors, Edmund Press and Rachel West, are connected to John S. Trower through the Ganaskin tribe. As I was searching through my tree and looking up John S. Trower's family, I noticed his deep connection to this American Indian tribe. His father, Luke Trower, his first wife was Beverly Jeffrey. The Jeffrey family were American Indians, as listed in many records. Elizabeth Jeffrey, Indian, former husband of Thomas Fisherman, also an Indian. The entire Jeffrey family were listed as Indians. William Press, an Indian born to a free Negro named Priscilla. Their son, Littleton Press, married Molly Fisherman, and their son, Edmund Press, that's Lisa's ancestor, married Rachel West. But I'm not done. The connection goes deeper. Mary Jefferson's son, Littleton, marries Nancy Collins. Luke Trower's second wife, Anne Reed, was first married to Victor Collins. The Collins family was a large family on the Ganaskin Indian Reservation. Some of their descendants would soon move further south along with the Dial, Oxendine, and other families that are now a part of the Lumbee tribe. The Pamunkey members such as the Langston and Bradbys were also among the family. So John S. Trower has deep connections to this land, and yet he had to fight harder than those from Europe for a right to survive, and he certainly had to fight for a chance to thrive. Despite these challenges, young Trower exhibited uncommon determination, earning a reputation early on as someone destined for greatness. At just 16, Trower began working tirelessly on the family farm, not for wages, but to pay off debts. By 21, he had done the unthinkable. He paid off the entire farm and handed the deed to his mother. He did this by using an ancient American Indian resource, sumac. He would collect sumac just like his ancestors did, to sell it to tanneries to tan hides. He eventually saved enough money to leave Eastville and venture out to the great unknown. With only $52 to his name, he left for Baltimore. In Baltimore, Trower found work as an oyster opener in a local restaurant. The pay was little, so he lived frugally and saved diligently. In 1870, he moved to Germantown, Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. He worked as a waiter for some wealthy white men in the city, such as the Roberts family and the Brown family of Brown Brothers Harriman and Company. One of the founding partners of this company included Prescott Bush, the father and grandfather of Presidents George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush. In 1874, John became partners with George W. Brown, opened Trower and Brown Catering. The partnership ended after 1 year, but that did not dissuade Trower from growing. His restaurant on Chetland Ave was a hit. By 1881, John Trower had gained a reputation for having some of the best food, if not the best food, in town. Word was spreading across the country of his fine catering. In 1887, he moved his business to 5706 Germantown Avenue. It was the home to the former Germantown Savings Fund. He transformed it into a premier catering headquarters. The building was valued at $75,000. Come on, John. The building featured an ice cream plant run by electricity, dining halls for 150 guests, a full bakery, a delivery service, and storage facilities. He employed over 20 people, young black men and women, offering them steady work, skills training, and upward mobility. By this time, he was one of the most sought-after caterers in the city, serving Philadelphia's wealthiest families and political elite. He catered for major institutions, including the Cramp Shipbuilding Company, and even for a grand Washington reception hosted by Postmaster General John Wanamaker. But Trower's impact went far beyond business. A devout Christian, he served as superintendent of the Cherry Street Baptist Church Sunday School for 9 years and was appointed National Baptist Superintendent of the World. He was instrumental in building several Black Baptist churches across Pennsylvania. He also helped establish the state's industrial and theological school, purchasing land himself to hold in trust until the community could take ownership. Trower was deeply embedded in civic life. He served as treasurer and trustee for numerous organizations, including the Reliable Business Men's Building, the Olive Cemetery, the Home for Aged and Infirm Colored People. He gave generously to causes most would never see and performed charitable acts far from the spotlight. He also built wealth through real estate, owning property in Germantown and even in Ocean City, New Jersey, where he maintained a summer residence. I know that's right. Despite his immense success, John S. Trower never turned his back on the community that shaped him. He created opportunities where there had been none and left behind a blueprint for excellence, wealth building, and service. Alongside his wife Matilda Daniels of Virginia and their 6 children, Trower built not just a business, but a legacy. By the way, while I was digging into John's family tree, I realized, thanks to his great-grandson, James Lyons, that John S. Trower's daughter, Frances Trower, would marry Dr. Stark O. Cherry II. Dr. Cherry is kin to me through his mother, Fannie Walker. Cousin Walker talks about his great-great-grandfather, Moses Walker, the white enslaver, who had multiple children with Betsy and Elizabeth. For more on the Walker-Bynes connection, check out episode 8. John Trower was much more than a caterer. He was a visionary, a leader, and above all, a friend and advocate for his people. Trower proved that despite everything being stripped from him, his American Indian heritage, his family's rights to their land, and their overall way of life, he could become one of the wealthiest and most influential men of his era, a symbol of what Black excellence truly means and the fortitude we hold in our community against all odds. Thank you, John Shepard Trower, and thank you for watching American Hidden History, and stay tuned for more.